If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many, many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place, and that's what I love about it. When I came across it, actually on Spotify, and I thought I'd always been wondering how to do it, how to make that transition into it. And Anchor has made it so easy, and I am so glad that I have found it, and I've started my podcast for my social skills group, and hopefully I can use it for my students as well in my class. So download the free Anchor app or go to Anchor FM to get started. I just recently was able to view Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, and I just cannot get that movie off my mind. The different themes that are in it, even though it was back in the 20s, I can see the relevancy of everything that we're going through today. Each character brought something to the narrative of this particular storyline. And even though the dress, the times, the music, of course, are the blues, I see it today in my community. What does it mean to be a woman of color? The struggles and the different things that we have to deal with being what is considered to be a strong Black woman, the positive and the negative. What does it mean to be a man of color? What does it mean to be a man? How we interact with each other in our community, the resentments, the anger. The character that Chadwick Boseman plays, Levi, I think it hurt me to see him. Just like when I watched Cadillac Records and it was Columbus Short and he played Little Walter, it moved me to tears. The struggle, you can see the struggle that is going on within these two young men as they're trying to find their way. And in regards to Chadwick Boseman's character, Levi, when he spoke of an incident that had happened to him with his mother and the pain. He'd been hurt physically, but the pain that he sustained emotionally and spiritually outlasted the physical. The set of survival skills that each one of us has to cultivate and facilitate in order to make it, to survive. A certain level of duality, how we present ourselves on the outside and how we truly feel inside. The never-ending battle between those two sides of ourselves. And within our community, everyone knows what that is. No one really has to speak on it. It's there. Everybody has their own individual story or stories or struggle. But we all know it's unspoken. It's felt. It's known on some level. The reason for the duality is because of things, the more they have changed, the more they stay the same. When I look around in society today, I look on the news, you see it. It makes my heart very heavy, and I know that eventually something very dramatic catastrophic will have to happen for it all to end. Not like a lot hasn't already happened, but I mean something so that we've never experienced on such a level that none of us have ever seen in our lifetimes when I say catastrophic. Back to the movie and the character of Levi, as he explains to all the older, band members about what happened to his mom and how his dad responded to it initially as well as later on. The scars that he physically took away from it when he tried to defend his mom, as well as the long-lasting scars that he had spiritually and emotionally regarding what he saw and what he heard and what he understood as a young boy. It happened when his father was not there, and his dad had told him that he was the man of the house. And he himself, in his efforts as a young boy trying to defend his mom, almost lost his life. The dynamics of his father and himself and his inability to deal with what happened to his wife, and that his son had to be the one to try to defend her, and his anger, his father's anger, and him doing it in the only way that he knew how was with deadly force, and his father therefore losing his life, being lynched and burned alive. His character, Levi, had such an anger that even extended out to God. And the other band members were very taken back by his seeming hatred of God and saying that God hated black people. The not understanding of why things happen to us in this life, whether we're black, white, or whatever our nationality, our creed, or the color of our skin, why these bad things happen, this inhumanity. Then we get to the part of the movie in which Levi tries to talk to one of the proprietors of this recording company in Chicago, who, have basically are dealing with Ma Rainey along with other artists, but she is one of the bigger ones that they have. And he tries to get his own deal. He wants to start his own band. And once Ma Rainey basically cuts him loose, so to speak, after a recording session, they are not getting along. The proprietors see that, and they do not consider him to be viable. They just see him as a hothead. So he keeps trying to talk to the guy on the side, one of the owners, and he basically brushes him off and offers him $5 for each of the songs that he has written. He is very prolific in his writing and understanding of music. He is a true musician, not to say the other gentlemen in the band are not. And his anger and the internalization of that anger. And he knows that he cannot lash out at this individual. So what does he do? He reaches out to one of the band members and he takes his life. This particular band member nicknamed Toledo had been trying to talk to him throughout the movie and trying to help him to understand things and about the struggle and doing things in a more positive manner. Levi tells Toledo that he reads too many books and that he's They're not talking about the same thing. They're not coming from the same place when actuality they are. This makes me think of the things that I am seeing today with the younger people and even people who are, maybe not of the younger set, but the certain mindset. And they think that certain things can be dealt with in the same manner. You see what I'm saying? Internalizing and taking all that rage and that anger and that resentment and that hurt and looking outwardly at others of our community and therefore hurting them and taking their lives. This is not the way, but this is what has been happening, and it has been happening for quite some time. And then the regret and the hurt, and Levi reaching out and asking Cutler to help him. But what could be done? Nothing. And the thing that he did not want, which was he lost his livelihood. And this proprietor got his songs anyway and had others to record it and make money off of it. A very bright and brilliant young man lost his livelihood, and he lashed out at someone that was only trying to help him, someone that had lived life just as he was living his. And this is what makes me sad, is because I see this. We are killing our own, and it's a cycle, a vicious cycle that keeps happening and happening and happening. When will it end?